What's going on, guys? JHoyt back with you today. Welcome back to some Call of Duty Black Ops 4. We got some league play, playing some control on the map C side. And once again, we're back with our duo, Ben. It's been a while since he's been in a video, but he's back. And in this one, we actually switched roles. He was running a Maddox for the most part, and I was running a SOG, which is something I usually don't do until recently, to where we kind of switched up a little bit. And I've been kind of frying lately, so I hope you guys do enjoy that one in the background. As today, well, yesterday kind of came out some huge news regarding the future of Optic Gaming. There's been tons of rumors, tons of unconfirmed reports and stories and articles and everything and videos and everything. There's been tons of information, kind of rumored that what was going to happen with them. So what, if you guys don't know what happened, basically Infinite Esports and Entertainment bought Optic Gaming, invested in Optic Gaming, a while back. Then, this year or so, they basically decided to put Optic Gaming up for sale for around $150 million. And I don't think they got that or even close to it. And I think they got about 30, 40, 50 million probably for the sale. But where does that kind of leave Optic Gaming all this? Well, there was another kind of organization that came in and have acquired them, and that is going to be the Immortals Gaming Club, or the IGC. Immortals Gaming Club acquired Infinite Esports and Entertainment, which means, who knows, because there's not a lot of information that has really come out yet, other than, one tweet by Optic Gaming that says new partners, but the same brand and hashtag green wall and all that stuff. I'll put a screenshot on the screen for you. But what does that mean for all the front office people, all of the people that were in charge of Optic Gaming and Infinite before? That's a big kind of question mark, because it did say in the press release, which I'll also link in the description, that some of them will become shareholders. Not exactly sure what a shareholder does. I'm not sure if that's an investor, if that's like a board of director type thing. I'm not exactly sure. But if you know what that is, then I guess that would probably solve, or answer one of your questions. But I guess let's just start with, who is the Immortals Gaming Club? Now, I've ever heard of the Immortals team, and then the couple other teams that are under them. But the Immortals Gaming Club basically consisted of Immortals as their own brand, the LA Valiant, which is their Overwatch team, and MIBR, which is Made in Brazil, which was their Counter-Strike team, which is that old SK roster with Coldzera and Fallen and Phelps and Fur and all of those guys. And then now is Optic Gaming. And this is where it's like, okay, what does this mean? What happens to all the teams? What happens to Optic Gaming as a brand? Well, also, I'm going to relate a lot to this press release. Like I said, I will link that in the description below. But they basically said that some teams will have to be sold off due to, Immortals already having control of one of those esports teams. In our first example, I'll use Optic Gaming CSGO. So Optic CSGO's team will be sold off either as a team or individually. They haven't really obviously figured that out yet, because it just happened, because of Valve's rules with Counter-Strike, where you cannot have two teams under the same organization in the same esport, which is the case with Counter-Strike. So the MIBR brand, obviously they want to keep that because they're top 5, top 10 in the world, and they're a very, very solid team. So obviously you want to keep your own team if you can. So Optic Gaming will be sold or released, depending on what the best kind of situation is for them, because they haven't really been that great. So they obviously want to keep the good team and not the team that barely wins against unknown teams, basically. And then the next team that's going to be kind of dealt with is the Houston Outlaws, and that is Optic Gaming's Overwatch brand. And it kind of sucks, because I know Optic Hex was really, really excited to have an Overwatch team, let alone have his own branding. Plus, the whole Outlaws brand, he was kind of super happy with. And I know he really loved that brand. and what does that mean for them. So the Houston Outlaws currently will remain as a team until it is sold to a third-party kind of organization or third-party team or third-party person, because again, league rules, you can't have two teams under the same organization in the same esports. So it sucks, but with the LA Valiant being Immortals Overwatch team, they want to keep their own team, and that's completely understandable. Although this next esport Immortals currently doesn't have, which is Optic League of Legends, Immortals wants them to themselves, obviously. So what's happening with them, and they kind of already said it, was the League of Legends spot that is currently owned by Optic Gaming will stay the same as Optic Gaming until 2020, where they will rebrand to Immortals then. So we got about 6 months until that happens. So to this point, this doesn't really affect me too much because these esports I don't really watch that much. Counter-Strike kind of being the exception there. When Optic Gaming had a league match or a tournament match or something, I would try to watch if I had the opportunity, but for the most part they sucked. So it was kind of hard to watch, a team that constantly struggled. But then the next biggest team would be the Optic Call of Duty team. Now, currently, Immortals does not own a Call of Duty franchise spot or a Call of Duty team in general. But in the press release, it says that they will... Basically, it sounds like they're going to keep Optic Gaming as the Call of Duty team. So Call of Duty will remain under Optic Gaming's name, and they will work to kind of get that franchising spot for next year. Upcoming is the Call of Duty franchising, the CWL franchising, whatever you want to call it. So it sounds like Optic Call of Duty will remain under the Optic name, unless the city-based rules come into play with that situation. Then they could be rebranded to whatever it would be. But after all those teams kind of have like a plan, there's also a lot of unknowns, being the Optic content creators. Hitch and Big T and Midnight and Pterodactyl and Rallied and Embos and Maniac and all them. What happens to them? We don't really know yet. Obviously it's a tough situation because they want to know where they stand so they can focus on their content and what they're doing with their lives. Do they need to move somewhere? What do they need to do with this whole situation? They don't know yet, or maybe they do and it hasn't been released yet. I'm not exactly sure. But that leaves a lot of unknowns with that situation. But also there's another esports team, being the Gears of War team that Optic Gaming currently owns. Being the best team in the world, Optic Gaming is going to surely want to keep them. But is Immortals going to want to get that team under their brand? Do they leave because they don't want to be under Immortals? I don't know. That's another big unknown that we don't know yet. And then kind of the last big, huge unknown. What happens to Hex? Optic Hex, Hector Rodriguez. What happens to him in all this? I know he did meet with Immortals a while ago, and I guess had a big meeting, and kind of we're going to see what was going to happen if, Immortals were to buy Optic, what his role would be in this whole situation. So that's a huge unknown still. Obviously, we're only one day into this whole kind of mess. But as soon as kind of the dust settles in this whole situation, hopefully everyone has some answers. As a fan of Optic Gaming, this kind of relieves a little bit of stress from the whole situation, mainly because everyone's biggest worry was, is Optic Gaming going to be dead? Is they going to dissolve that brand and Optic Gaming wasn't going to be a thing any longer? Well, it sounds like Optic Gaming is going to remain a thing, and they're actually going to, put effort into Optic Gaming. So that's a good thing. But what we don't know is obviously all the unknowns with Hex and the content creators and, all the brands that were under Optic Gaming. What happens to kind of all of them? And, what happens to the rest? If Optic Gaming wants to pick up a new team, as long as they don't have... as long as Immortals doesn't have that team, can they be under Optic Gaming, or do they have to be under Immortals? Or, You know, it's a lot of unknowns, and some of these we'll probably never find out, and it kind of sucks. But for right now, like I said, I'm a little relieved because Optic Gaming sounds like it's going to be still staying a brand, and you know, the green wall is still going to be there. But is it truly going to be there? Is kind of the biggest question out of all of them. So I guess we'll just kind of wait and see, and I hate to say it, but let's play the waiting game and kind of see where this entire ride takes us. But anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap this one up here. If you did enjoy, hit the like button down below. Comment what you guys thought. You know, are you kind of relieved as an Optic fan, as an esports fan, as an Immortals fan, if you're one of those? Let me know. What are your guys' thoughts on this whole situation? Obviously, still a lot of unknowns, still a lot of unknown information. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below, and subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, guys, we'll see you next time.
There's 2 tomb. This guy has no clue that anyone's there. Alright, I have lightning hellstorm, by the way.
Okay.
Oh, that helps.
Connector.
2 tomb right now.
They're crushed. I'm in. I'm also one shot.
Nice.
One on you.
Dead.
I got your door. I got your door.
Absolutely. I got stuck. 2 left, 2 left. 1.
Got one.
Dude, stop shooting me.
Got him.
Fuck's sake. Wait, I didn't even get a chance to use my...
Nope.
I didn't even get a chance to use my streaks.
Wow.
Wait, that was the 4th round?
Yeah. Oh, this freaking thing. Oh my gosh.